Good morning. I've decided to make pancakes. I don't think I have flour, so I'm going to blend oats, but I fancy some banana pancakes for breakfast. One of the ways I've been inviting more ritual and routine into my life is eating a meal outside a day, at least one. I think it just makes the whole thing a more sensory experience, and it allows you to be more present with the food you're eating and the taste, and to hold gratitude for the nourishment. Yeah, I love it. It's I prefer it with breakfast because the morning sun is so gorgeous. But I love an evening picnic, a lunch picnic, taking my meal to the lake, things like that. I think I might do that for my lunch actually. I might take my lunch down, cycle down to the lake. But yeah, I've had a lovely slow morning. I've had a bit of a lie-in. The morning today looks a little bit different in terms of rituals and routines because I had a lie-in and I don't usually. What time is it? It's 20 to 8 right now. And I'm gonna eat my breakfast and then meditate and go for a walk, I think. I'm excited for today. I have a whole day alone and I haven't in a while. But I'm gonna eat this now and enjoy the morning sun and take some deep breaths. Another thing, I also think for me, cooking, eating, baking is such a ritual. It really grounds me. I like to cook from books rather than recipes on the internet because it's such a mindful practice for me. But also playing on with my food, like creating these little star shapes with my fruit, or when I make soups I cut my carrots into that. I do use like the other bits of the strawberry as well. I don't waste it, but why not? I love it. It's so cute. I finished my breakfast now, but I think eating in ways that make you feel good and happy and healthy is such a act of love and kindness to yourself, and it can really form that connection with your body. Learning what foods make you feel good and the way that certain foods make you feel. I just think it's such a beautiful thing to do for yourself. Excuse the mop in the background now. I'm really excited. The sun is so lovely this morning. I think I'm gonna meditate outside as well. I just got back from my walk in nature and I made myself a matcha. I didn't have a whisk, so it's a little bit bitty, but that's okay. I'm really tired today, so I think I need some caffeine, but I've been going on these walks daily recently, either alone or with someone, and it's been a heat wave. Today's a lot cooler. I think it's going to be 10 degrees cooler than it has been, so about 21, 22, which is really nice. It's like the perfect spring summer temp. I am pretty good with the heat though. I do love just being outside when it's warm and sunny and rainy. I just like being outside in general, and I think that's why these walks have been so moving in a way. Like, I keep feeling so overwhelmed and full to the brim with joy and gratitude and awe of the smallest things. Like, I don't know, I get really inspired, and I have this lightness about me and I feel so connected to life, and I find so much joy in living and excitement in the idea that I get to do things. And it's whether, like, it's small things like I get to read my book, or went on a walk like 2 days ago in the evening with Kieran, and in the distance there was this white horse in front of a church. Like there was like a few fields in between us, and I was just like mesmerized. It was so beautiful. And I don't know, these walks have been a really grounding habit for me, where sometimes I listen to a podcast. I don't really tend to listen to music when I walk, or I'll just walk. Like today I walked about an hour without any music or any entertainment, and it was so lovely. It was so lovely, the feeling the morning sun on my face, and it just brings me really back to the present, and it brings me back to that place of lightness and excitement for life. And I feel so grateful for being able to do it, and for having the motivation to get myself out on these walks daily, as not as a form of movement or as a form of getting my steps in, but as a ritual, as a habit of reconnecting, I think. I kind of keep it separate to my movement practice, really. But I thought I would sit down here anyway and talk about some of the rituals and habits I do to connect to myself, to spirit, and to cultivate that lightness. I think I wrote a few down. Yeah, so the first ritual or thing that I have turned into a ritual for myself is journaling and doing my morning pages as a way to get my thoughts emptied onto paper. It's somewhere that I can return to that doesn't feel forced. And for me, these rituals and habits need to feel like a form of devotion, not a form of discipline for me. Because I think I leaned too heavily into discipline for a while, and I lost that sense of connection, where there was all of these things that I just kept listing to myself that I had to do this, and this all in my morning to feel grounded, to feel safe, to feel comforted. But when I didn't do them, I would feel stressed, or if I missed yoga off and I only meditated or wrote, then it wasn't good enough. And having this lessening of the forcing myself to do things and leaning into each moment and morning of, oh, what is it that's going to make me feel good today? And sometimes I get stuck in that indecision, but just letting myself come to do one of these habits and rituals. And the one that I always find myself returning to is morning pages, where I sit here, I light my candle, I have a warm drink usually, but we're in a heat wave, and then I come and I write, and it is just such an amazing practice. Whether it's just a mind dump, is what I tend to do, like a stream of consciousness, to get those thoughts emptied out of my head. It kind of, these rituals for me are all about connecting to myself, getting out of my head and into my body, like returning my body back to itself, coming home to myself. Kind of tacking on to the walking, for me, time outdoors is another habit, or I suppose a ritual now that I really intentionally do. I suppose the difference between ritualization and habits is the intention you're putting into them. Like, you can have these routines in the morning, but whether they become rituals depends on the intention that you're allowing yourself to create, and the awareness that you have surrounding them, and using them as a way to bring you into the present moment rather than propelling you forward in some sort of self-improvement. Yeah, I think it's hard to discern between the two sometimes. Having these habits create a steady repetition within the days to help stabilize you is so important for feeling that sense of security and groundedness within yourself and within your body. And turning up to do the same thing or a similar thing each day really helps discern between how you're feeling each day, and you can learn to connect with yourself and connect with your body. Like for me, that tends to come up through movement and having a movement practice where I will run in the morning, or I'll do an asana, so yoga practice, which I tend to try and keep separate from my movement practice, but for the sake of the conversation. Actually no, so say I have a regular yoga practice on my mat where I'm doing asana, where I'm doing the movement part of yoga. I can check in with myself frequently, daily, every other day, whenever I feel the call to come to my mat, and it's that sense of, oh, today that feels a little bit different in my body, or I'm feeling a bit tight here today, my chest feels a bit heavy, there's some emotion I'm carrying here. And learning each day, it takes so much time and it ebbs and flows with how connected you are to yourself, but it is a practice. And that's the beauty of yoga, of meditation, of the writing of these rituals. It's a practice of getting to know yourself and coming back to your intuition. As well, I spoke about how creating nourishing meals, that's another one for me. Nourishing myself fully, I spoke about that this morning, just as a way to feel connected and grounded to myself and into my body. And eating loads of colour, all the plants, feeling connected to nature, because you have this gratitude for these things, these simple things that can add all this vitality into your body, all this energy, and it's such an amazing privilege to be able to do that for yourself. As well as moving your body, having the ability to go for a run and be in the woods and feel that energy come back to you, or feel yourself using that energy that you have, and then feeling stronger in the gym, connecting to your breath in these ways. This is a bit of a ramble, so rounding up and coming to a little bit of a conclusion, I think I did that very incoherently, or incohesively rather, of some of the habits that I like to incorporate to feel grounded, connected and light. The 4 main ones I spoke about is journaling and morning pages, time outside, yoga, movement, exercise, and nourishing myself, and creating nourishing meals and cooking and baking for myself and others is some of the main habits and rituals that I find myself coming back to daily and not having to force myself into. And yeah, I'm just really grateful that these practices are a part of my life and I have been able to ritualize them. I hope that you're able to find some peace and groundedness and connectedness in your day too. But I'm gonna end this one here. Thank you for being with me.